Hello, my name is Hope Freeman. I'm the Chief Park Naturalist at Killbear Provincial Park. My job entails overseeing resource management initiatives as well as education programs within the park. My favorite part about my job is working with wildlife and seeing the connection visitors have not only with the park itself, but the wildlife that calls the park home.
Hi, I'm Alex Heffernan, and I'm the snake researcher here at Killbear Provincial Park. This is my second year in parks, and what my job entails is coordinating and making sure that the snake research program here in the park goes as smoothly as possible. And something I find really amazing about my job is getting to connect people and the wildlife that they may not get to experience otherwise.
We're here today to explore our newest eco-passage and how our critters can get across the road safely. An eco-passage is a piece of infrastructure installed within a road to allow wildlife to move essentially from one side of the road to another. You can imagine they have habitat on one side, whether that's their breeding grounds, their foraging grounds, or their overwintering sites, and they want to get to the other side to continue things that are critical for their life cycle. So this allows them to travel safely without worrying about getting hit by cars.
We're really focused on our species at risk, and especially our reptiles. So we're constructing passageways for snakes, turtles, even skinks potentially, to be able to move between habitats.
To install an eco-passage, the park staff first completed road surveys to identify a hotspot within the park where road mortality occurs. From there, we chose the specific site and we completed construction to install a box culvert to allow reptiles, amphibians, mammals to travel safely underneath the road. Once the construction was completed, we installed wildlife fencing to guide the various species specifically into the eco-passage. And then from there, it's just monitoring. So trail cameras, as well as surveys through park staff to make sure there's no holes and everyone's traveling safely.
The peak months are between April and September. That's when you'll find a lot of turtles and snakes on the roadways. So awareness from our park visitors and from the general public of when animals might be moving on the roads helps to empower them to keep extra vigilance when they're driving and make sure they're keeping an eye out for the smaller critters.
Our eco-passage has a unique design where there's wildlife shelves within the eco-passage, and this lets wildlife such as snakes, turtles, foxes travel if they need to within the water or during periods of high water when the stream is really flowing underneath the eco-passage to duck onto those shelves and cross. Sometimes I don't want to get my feet wet, so maybe they don't want to either. So that's a really, really handy tool. The funding for this project came through the Species Conservation Program Fund. This is up to $20 million that is used to protect and conserve species at risk, like the eastern fox snake and the Massasauga rattlesnake that will be traveling through our eco-passage project.
Best way to learn more about the work that we do at Killbear here is to visit us and come to our Discovery Center, speak to some of our naturalists. They'd be more than happy to share all sorts of exciting details about the research and the eco-passage and beyond. But other ways that visitors or potential visitors could learn more about our program is check out the Ontario Parks blog.
This eco-passage project is particularly special to me because I grew up with a fear of snakes. Once I educated myself about snakes and spent time with them, I saw that they were just gentle beings who we had lots to learn from. So this eco-passage is really important to me to help prevent their road mortality and also just boost the populations of species at risk within Ontario.